Hare Krishna. So, Prabhu, I just want to introduce you quickly. So, our Prabhuji, His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu, is from Manchester. He's a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swamiji, and he's been in the Prabhupada mission since 1995, and he's been preaching in Bhagavad-Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's proficient in all these scriptures. As Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that there's everything in these scriptures. You'll find everything in there. And as a career, he's a consultant psychiatrist in Manchester. So, he has profound knowledge in the scriptures and beyond. And we're looking forward to hearing from Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Narayan Keshav Prabhu, and all the assembled devotees, my humble obeisances. I'm always glad to associate with devotees from Birmingham and nearby areas. I've got very fond memories, and everyone has been always so loving and caring towards me. I'm eternally grateful to all of you. We will discuss the 17th chapter of the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam today. It's a very beautiful, very important, and some profound lessons in that chapter. So before that, we will do some Mangalacharan, some auspicious prayers, and then we will do Jai Radha Madhav, and then do a bit of discussion on this chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurau Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyamadi Paschatyadesh Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Shri Ram. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihar Radha Madhava Kunja Bihar Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. So, first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, chapter 17, Punishment and Reward of Kali. So, as I said, this is one of the chapters in Bhagavatam which have profound applications for our lives. In the previous chapter, in 16th chapter, it is described that how when Parikshit Maharaj became the emperor of this planet, he was once roaming around to check the welfare of his citizens. And he found that there was a cow and a bull having conversation. So the Mother Earth was represented as the cow, and Dharmaraj, the religion, is represented as a bull. So they are having this conversation. And 17th chapter describes how Parikshit Maharaj, upon reaching that place, finds that Kali in the form of a Shudra king is beating the cow. Is beating the bull, and the cow is in great tears. So Parikshit Maharaj challenges Kali, and ultimately Kali surrenders, and he requests Parikshit Maharaj to give him some places to stay. Parikshit Maharaj gives him certain places, and then he re-establishes his rule in the kingdom. So as long as Parikshit Maharaj was present, Kali could not get a foothold in his kingdom. And in this chapter, we will read how bull in the form of religion is upholding his values even when hurt. And Parikshit Maharaj, as the king, he still decides to go ahead and punish Kali, exhibiting the model characteristics of a leader or a king. So we will begin. There are 45 verses in this chapter. As we go along, if there are any questions or comments, feel free to discuss them. So first verse, Suta Uvacha Tatra Gomithunam Raja Hanyamanam Manathavat Dandahastam Cha Vrishalam Dadrishen Ripalanchanam. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a conversation between Suta Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunak Rishi. And in that conversation, there are many sub-conversations taking place, one of which is the conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami. And then Shukdev Goswami narrates, and in that various sub conversations take place. So it's like, plots within plots. So it makes it even more exciting. So in the first verse, Sutta Goswami says that after reaching that place, which place? The place where the cow and bull were having conversation. Maharaj Parikshit observed that a lower caste Shudra dressed like a king. Nripa Lanchanam. Nripa means a king. Lanchanam means actually a disgrace. So in this Kali Yuga, there are many people who will come up in the position of a king, but they are lower than Shudras. You can see in modern society, modern leaders, you can see in the recent history. And kings can also mean position of a leader. And that leader can be in your workplace, your manager or employer. That leader can be in the temples, temple presidents, and the head of spiritual organizations, head of charities, head of churches. They can be head of various departments, and even the head of family. These are all natural leadership positions. And in Kali Yuga, you will find that yes, people are very eager to grab the post, to grab the uniform, to grab the symbols of a leader. But their mentality, their consciousness is lower than that of a Shudra. And therefore, there is great misery in this time and age. The leaders are meant to protect, but because they have no idea of civilization, they harass. So here he sees that this Kali, who was dressed like a king, he was beating a cow and a bull with a club, anathavat, as if they had no owner. And in today's world, it is shocking if you see that, someone harassing a cow and a bull. All of us are, associated with Krishna consciousness. We all worship cow. What to worship of us worshipping cow? Cow is so sacred that even the Supreme Lord Krishna worships them. Even he serves them. So if God is serving cows, then you know what to speak of us. And if we see someone beating a cow and a bull with a club, how shocked we would be. And in Maharaj Parikshit's time, it was unimaginable. Nowadays, there are so many slaughterhouses. But in Maharaj Parikshit's time, it was unimaginable to even see that. So Maharaj Parikshit saw this, and it is described that the bull, he was white in color, white like a lotus flower. And he was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him. So much terrified that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. So there was great fear in this bull who is religion personified. And although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by a Shudra. There were tears in her eyes. She was distressed and weak, and she was hankering after some grass in the field. So the cow also, the calf had been taken away, and she was weeping, distressed, weak, just looking for some grass. And she was appearing very deenam, very poor, very distressed. And again, even to read is so painful. Whenever we see any animal, what to speak of a cow in pain, in distress, we immediately want to take care of them. Uh, because we've got better intelligence, we've got better resources. So in a family, if the elder brother is resourceful, then I've seen generally they take care of the younger kids, younger siblings. That is the natural duty. So all of us are Krishna's children, and the being more intelligent, we are supposed to take care of our younger brothers and sisters, the animals, the plant, the natural kingdom. But if a person who is a Shudra or even less becomes the leader, then they have no values. They start harassing the bull and the cow. So Maharaj Parikshit, he Prapacha Ratham Aruda. He was seated on a chariot, Partha Swaraparichidam, and with a deep voice, Mega Gambhiraya, like the sound of a thunder, he immediately spoke to this king, to this man who was dressed like a king. And he says, Kastum Macharane Loke, Baladhyas Balan Bali, Naradevo Siveshena, Natavat Karmanadvija. He says that who are you? You appear to be strong. Kali is not weak, Kali is strong. And yet you are trying to kill someone who is helpless, who is under my protection. So Prabhupada mentions that for the emperor, it is not that he has to take care only of the humans in his kingdom. Everyone is a citizen. Plants, animals, birds, beasts, everyone is the citizen. And Parikshit Maharaj says, so why are you harassing one of my citizens? They are under my protection. By your dress, Nara Devosi Veshena. By your vesh, by your dress, you appear Naradev. You appear uh, the god of humans, that is the king. You appear a king. Natavat Karmanadvija. But you are acting opposite to that of a Kshatriya. Kshatriya's duty is to protect the helpless, and you are actually, beating the helpless. So even though you're dressed like a king and you're strong, you're still acting in the opposite way. So he says, Yastam Krishne Gate Duram Sah Gandiva Dhanvana Shochosya Shocyan Rahasi Praharan Vardhamarhasi. He says, you think that now Krishna Gatam Dure, Krishna has departed, and Saha Gandiva Dhanvana, along with the carrier of Gandiv, Arjun. So both by that time, when Parikshit Maharaj became the emperor, Krishna and Arjun had left. So he's saying, because you think Krishna and Arjun have left, you can beat an innocent cow. Since you are beating them, Rahasi, in a innocent place, in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed. So just for this action of beating a cow and bull, Parikshit Maharaj was ready to kill Ali. Now imagine if Parikshit Maharaj was around nowadays, with so many slaughterhouses going on, he would just go on a killing rampage, protecting all the cows. So actually, it just shows how fallen we are nowadays. 5,000 years ago, not long, 5,000 years is not long. There was an emperor who thought that, whose values were that you can't harm a cow and a bull. Even if you beat them, you deserve to be killed. And now, kings and government leaders and prime ministers and presidents, they are sanctioning slaughterhouses. How sinful that is. So we should take some lesson from this, that at least as devotees, we should do whatever we can to protect cows and bulls. So I just want to say a little bit about why cow protection is important. For devotees, the only reason is that because Krishna worships cows, Krishna serves cows. Someone asked Prabhupada that there are so many animals, but why do you take care of cows especially? So Prabhupada said, because Krishna takes care of cows. If Krishna took care of dogs, we would take care of dogs as well. But Krishna takes care of cows. That is our main reason. That is the only reason why we serve cows. Because cows are very dear to Krishna. Cows are very dear to Radharani as well. In Barsana, so Nanda Maharaj had 9 lakh cows. Vrishbhanu Maharaj had even more than that. The whole Barsana, the whole village of Nanda Maharaj was covered with cows. And Radharani and the gopis, they used to take care of the cows. Radharani used to milk the cows. She used to carry the cow dung of the cows. With great love and devotion, she used to serve the cows. So not just Krishna, Radharani and all the gopis, they also served cows very nicely. So that is the main reason why we serve the cows. Now there are other reasons as well. There are environmental reasons. Uh, Prabhupada gives an ethical reason. Prabhupada says that we derive milk from cow. And the bulls, they work on the farm and give us grains. Just like mother gives us milk for what? 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. But after that, it's mother cow who nourishes us for all our life. And just like, father goes out and works and provides for us, similarly, bull goes on the farm and they do all the labor and provide us with grains. A human body is not dependent on nuts, bolts, and television and car. Human body is dependent on cow's milk, and grains, fruits, vegetables. And they are provided by the bull and cow. So Prabhupada says they are our parents. How can you kill your parents? Even if your parents are old, if, for example, they become invalid or they have dementia, you will not, eat them up or sell them in the market. You will still take care of them. That is another ethical reason Prabhupada gives. There are also environmental reasons. For farming, Mother Earth has given us everything, the minerals, all the nitrogen, whatever is needed is there in Mother Earth. But Mother Earth also needs microbes for seeds to germinate. The soil of Earth and Mars is the same constitution. But on Mars, you cannot grow vegetables or fruits. There is no vegetation there. Why? Because the organic matter is not there. That organic matter comes from cow dung, from the stool of animals. And there is good scientific study to say that of all the stools of all the animals, cow dung is the richest in microbes. In fact, if you go to, like I was doing some work in this field of cow protection, organic farming some years ago. So we went to some farmers, and what they would do is, after the crops have been harvested, then the soil is depleted of nutrients. So what they would do is they would gather all the cows in the village on that farm and feed them with grass or whatever for 2 or 3 days. Why? They were not interested in milk. They were interested in the cow urine and cow dung. Cow urine is a great source of nitrogen. Cow dung is a great source of all the microbes. And that would make their soil fertile. Buying fertilizers and pesticides is very costly and it damages Mother Earth. But this is a natural way of farming. You don't, for fertilizer, use cow dung. For pesticide, you use cow urine. So just by maintaining cows and bulls, all our needs are satisfied. If you look at Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, we will see that the Brijvasis are very rich, and their wealth comes not from industrial ventures. Their wealth is coming from agriculture, from cow protection. They throw, milk and butter on each other in festivals. During Govardhan Puja, they the description in Bhagavatam is that they make so many mountains of preparations for Govardhan. So they are not poor. By serving cow, one becomes very wealthy because all the demigods reside in mother cow. It is described that when cow was created, all the demigods wanted a place there. They all rushed. And at the end, Mother Lakshmi arrived. So she asked Brahmaji, where will I sit now? No, she asked Mother Surabhi that where do I take a place? So Mother Surabhi says that only the back part of my body is, no one has occupied it. So Lakshmiji says, okay, I will sit in the back part. And therefore, real wealth of cows is not in milk. It is in cow dung and cow urine. Because cows will give milk for how many years? They generally live for 20 years. They may have 6, 7 pregnancies. So they'll give milk for 6 months of each pregnancy, for example. So maybe 3, 4 years at best they'll give milk. Cow dung and cow urine they give from birth till old age, and that regenerates Mother Earth. So the real wealth is coming from the cows. So for many reasons, cow protection is of utmost importance. And for Parikshit Maharaj to see that in his kingdom someone can even think of hurting a cow was unimaginable. So immediately he challenges. And then he asks the bull, he says, who are you? You are as white as a lotus. So are you a bull or are you a demigod? Vrisharupena kim paschit devona parikhede. Are you a deva in the form of a bull? And he says that you have lost 3 legs and you are moving on only one. Are you some demigod causing us grief in the form of a bull? So just to see a bull on trembling on one leg is very painful. So are you a demigod who has taken the form of a bull and is in so much pain? For the first time in a kingdom, well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. See how what a bold statement is this. Can any of the kings or leaders today can say this, that because of me, no one has ever shed tears? So they were very, how should I say, diligent in following their duties. King Parikshit, he was not a sense gratifier that, let me exploit the kingdom, let me exploit the subjects, I should make merry. Not like that. He saw himself as a protector, as a servant of his kingdom. And then he turns to Mother Cow. He says that, Mother Cow, as long as I am living as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Ma Rodi Ramba Bhadraante. Everything will be good for you. Everything will be auspicious. And he says that the king's good name duration of life, and good rebirth vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. It is certainly the prime duty of the king to subdue first the sufferings of those who suffer. Ata enam vadishyami, therefore I will kill this most wretched man because he is violent against the living beings. So Parikshit Maharaj is again reassuring Mother Cow that don't worry, I will protect you. So then he again turns to the bull and he says, O son of Surabhi, who has cut off your three legs? O Vrishchat, Tava Padam Strin, Saurabheya Chatushpada. You are Chatushpada, you are four-legged. Padam Strin, who is hurting your three legs? In the state of kings who are obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, there is no one as unhappy as you. So he recognizes his pain. And he says that sadhunam kritagasam, you are offenseless and honest. So please tell me who has perpetrated this crime. Now, Parikshit Maharaj, he is the king. He has seen Kali dressed as a Shudra hurting the bull and the cow. So why is he asking the bull? He's seen Kali hitting the bull and the cow, but why is he asking the bull? Who has hit you? Any any ideas? Because in any court of law, you still have to take the testimony of a witness. Okay. The case may be crystal clear, and yet, the judge will ask that what happened, who killed you, who hurt you. Okay. That is a basic principle of the law. Because Parikshit Maharaj entered when they were being hit. There might be some story before that. So Parikshit Maharaj is not a blind ruler. He first wants to understand what is the situation. So he says, uh, tell me, and by curbing dishonest miscreants, one automatically benefits the offenseless. Because you may be hesitating that if I give testimony against this, this Kali, he may harm me. So I should not harm. I should not tell anything. Let me keep quiet. Parikshit Maharaj is saying, no, if you keep quiet, he will keep harming other people. So by punishing the miscreant, you actually protect others as well. Okay? So one should not be afraid in this matter. You're not only protecting yourself, but you're also protecting others by raising a valid complaint. And he assures that, don't worry, I will punish him. So in this way, King Parikshit encourages the bull to say something about it. So in text 17, Dharma uvacha etadvah pandaveyanam yuktam artabhayam vacha yesham guna gune krishno dautyadav bhagavan krita. He says, my dear King Parikshit, whatever you have said befits a king of the Pandav dynasty. Okay, this is what you have said is befitting because your ancestors were the great Pandavas. Why? Because Yesham Guna Guna Krishna, by the qualities, even Lord Krishna was captivated by the Pandavas. And Dautyadav Bhagavan Krita, and he performed the duties as a messenger. The Pandavas were such great devotees of Krishna. They had such divine qualities that Krishna was bound by their love. And he said, okay, I'll go as your Shanti Dut. as your peace messenger to Duryodhana and others, and try to prevent the war. And then in response to, you know, who has hit you, the bull says, Navayam klesha bijani yatasya purusharashabha purusham tam vijanimo vakya bhed vimohita. Who was hitting the bull? They could have said, this person is hitting me. Very clear answer, very honest answer. But the bull is saying that it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings, because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of heretical philosophers. Who is the cause of my suffering? Bull is saying, I can't ascertain, because different people give different answers. Some say that one's own self is responsible for personal happiness and distress. Others say superhuman powers are responsible. Some say our karma is responsible. And others say that nature is the ultimate cause. Okay? So there are different views. Why am I suffering? So there are some, monists. They say this whole world is unreal, and whatever happiness and distress is there is just our own perception. Okay. There are some people who say that, devatas are responsible. Some people say that our own karma is responsible. If I do good, good will come. I may have done bad in the past, and therefore those seeds are now fructifying, and I am suffering. And some people say that it is just the nature of this world. So different philosophers, they emphasize on different points. And some people say that anirdeshyaditi, one cannot pinpoint the exact cause of distress, either by arguments or imagination, or say it by words. So I'm confused. I don't know who is responsible for my distress. And therefore, Rajarshe Vimrish Swamanishaya. Swamanishya. Manish means intelligence. So please use your own intelligence and decide, who is responsible for my distress. Okay. So this is a very beautiful consciousness of Dharmaraj, of religion. Religion is not identifying Kali as the cause of his distress. He's saying there are different opinions, and therefore you decide, king. You are the judge, you decide who is responsible. So Sutta Vacha, text 21. Evam dharme pravadati sasamrad djasatama samahitena manasa vikeda paryachashtatam. So the king, hearing this, he was very satisfied. And he said, Rajovach, dharmam bravishi dharmagya dharmosi vrisharupadrik yad dharma kritasthanam suchapasyapi tad bhaved. He said, I understand that you are religion in the form of a bull, because you are speaking the code of religion. See, when we are hurt, someone comes and stabs us. How many of us will say, I don't know who stabbed me? Am I responsible? Nature is responsible. Who is responsible? We will immediately tell the police, he stabbed me. Sometimes people lie. Someone else may have stabbed, but they say, no, this person has hurt me. Here, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, from your response, which is full of wisdom, I can understand that you are religion in the form of a bull. And he says that there is an important religious principle that the destination intended for perpetrator of irreligious act is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. She says that, say someone has done a theft and you tell the police that he's the thief, then you are also getting the same punishment by the laws of karma. Okay. The reason for that is everyone, see, many years ago I saw a movie, and in this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he enters the church. This is the first scene. He enters the church. There is a boy who is lying on the altar, and the priest is about to stab him. So Arnold immediately takes his gun, shoots the priest, and the boy runs away. So he goes to the priest and he says, "What were you doing?" So the priest says, "What are you done? What have you done?" That boy was Satan, and I was just about to control him. Now you let him loose. And then the whole movie is about, how the Saturn is creating havoc. So just by looking at one scene, we don't know what is the story before and after. So to say that, this person is a thief, you don't know the full story. So therefore, you also become implicated. So Parikshit Maharaj says, it is good, even though I saw he is hitting you, even though you know that Kali is hitting you, yet you have not identified him. Because otherwise you would get the same punishment by the laws of karma. And he says that the Lord's energy is inconceivable. I can understand why this is happening. In the age of Satyug, your four legs were established by the principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But in Kali, Kali has broken your three legs because of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. And you're only standing on one leg, which is being truthful, and you're somehow hobbling along. But Kali is trying to destroy that leg as well. So there are four principles of religion. Religion stands on four legs: austerity, tapasya, cleanliness, shaucha, mercy, daya, and truthfulness, satya. Tapashaucham daya satyam iti pada krite krita adharmashaystreo bhagna smaya sangamadestava. And Kali has destroyed three legs. Which three legs? Austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. Austerity is destroyed by intoxication. Okay. Cleanliness is destroyed by illicit sex. Mercy is destroyed by pride or meat eating. And truthfulness is destroyed by gambling. So therefore, in our Vaishnava Sampradayas, in Iskcon, Prabhupada said that before initiation, we have to take four vows: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. If we avoid these four principles, then our life will stand on the four legs of religion. Please understand this. I am a psychiatrist. I do a lot of reports for the criminal court. And most of the offenses occur in a state of intoxication or drugs. Okay. The accident emergency consultants, they once wrote a letter saying that the biggest cause of A&E attendance is alcohol related issue. When people become alcoholic, they harm themselves or they harm others. Intoxication is a big reason for a lot of violent acts. There are also a lot of hurt and pain and violence when people engage in illicit affairs. And meat eating is causing so much pain, not just to animals, the whole environment, to Mother Nature. So just by avoiding these four activities, gambling, it destroys families. So just by avoiding these four things, our life becomes so peaceful. Many people ask me that you become a Hare Krishna, you chant 16 rounds. Where do you get the time from? And I said, I get a lot of time because I don't watch television, I don't go to pubs, I don't watch nonsense. You know, I have no addictions. I save a lot of money and time. I know people who are addicted to tea, for example. Early morning they spend 15, 20, 30 minutes on tea. And they do that, however many times they drink tea. Or in my hospital, people go for smoke. Every couple of hours, they are out for 15 minutes to smoke. So imagine, if they smoke 8 times, they have lost 2 hours smoking. I don't smoke, so I spend 2 hours chanting. Simple. It's not that uh, chanting is an additional burden on my time. Just by following the four principles, I'm saving a lot of time. I'm taking care of my health. The biggest cause of uh, any health issue, one of the major factor is wrong eating, especially eating meat or drinking or intoxication. Devotees avoid that. Naturally, they are healthy. Prabhupada used to say, just look at my Western disciples. Previously, they were hippies, they looked dirty, they looked morose. Now, with shaved head, tilak, they are looking so effulgent. They're following the four regulative principles, they are chanting the names of the Lord. So, by following these four principles, we are avoiding the effect of Kali. We are able to maintain a righteous religious life. They're very important. I tell many of my colleagues, you don't believe in religion? Fine. Can you follow these four principles? Your life will be healthy, happy. You'll save a lot of money. You'll save a lot of troubles. And also you will make others around you happy. So they are very important principles. And in Kali, you will find there is some truthfulness remaining. Even now, people are somewhat truthful. Other legs, more or less destroyed. And then he says that when Krishna was here, then Mother Earth was blissful. Krishna was placing his feet on Mother Earth and he destroyed all the demons. Now, unfortunately, Krishna has left and therefore Mother Earth is weeping, especially so because she is being ruled and enjoyed by lower class men who are posing as rulers. So Maharaj Parikshit pacified both Mother Earth and religion. And then he took up his sword, his sharp sword, Khadgam, he took that to kill Kali. And no, I'm going to kill you now. I don't need that testimony. I've seen what has happened. I'm going to kill you. So when the personality of Kali understood that the king was willing to kill him, he at once gave up the dress of a king and completely surrendered to the king, bowing his head. So then Maharaj Parikshit, he said, okay, I will not kill you because someone surrenders to a king, then I have to give you some protection as well. So I will, not kill you. Rajo Vacha, text 31. Nate Gudake Shayashodharanam Baddhanjale Bhayamas Ikankinched. न वर्तितव्यं भवता कथञ्चन क्षेत्रे मदीये त्वमधर्मबन्धो. So he said that, I am coming in the line of Arjun. I will not spoil their name. Since you surrendered with folded hands, I will not kill you. Do not fear. Uh, Bhayamasti kinchit. Do not fear a little bit. Okay. But you cannot live in my kingdom. That I cannot allow you. Because you are adharma bandhu. You are adharma. You are the friend of irreligion. I cannot live. Because if I allow you to live, then you will spread principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity. So I'm not allowing you. Therefore, you go, because in my kingdom, people are performing sacrifices for Yageshwara, for the uh, personality of Godhead, who is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So you cannot stay here. Suta Vach. परीक्षितैवमादिष्ट सकलैर्जातवेपथो तम उद्यतासिम आहेदम dandapanim ivodgatam. So the personality of Kali, he was now trembling in fear. And then Kali spoke to the king. Kalir uvacha yatra kvatva yatra kvavath vatsyami sarvabhauma tavagyaya lakshe tatra tatrapi tvam atteshu sharasanam. He says that, okay, you are telling me to go, but wherever I go, I will see you with bow and arrows, because the whole planet is your kingdom. You will appear anywhere with your bow and arrows. So I will always be in fear. So please give me one place where I can live permanently under your protection. I'm also taking shelter of you. So you have to give me one place where I can stay without fear. Suta Vacha अभ्यर्थितस्तदा तस्मै स्थानानि कलये ददौ द्यूतं पानं स्त्रियः सूना यत्राधर्मश्चतुर्विध. So he says, okay, you go where irreligion resides, in places where there is dutam, gambling, panam, intoxication, drinking, striyam, prostitution, suna, animal slaughter. Wherever these are taking place, these are irreligious activities, and you are irreligion personified, so you stay in those places. Okay. So the Kali Yuga said that, but Maharaj Parikshit, in your kingdom, nothing like this is going on. Where will I stay? Practically, you've given me no place. So punascha yachaman. So he again begged. So he says, okay, rajo vairam cha panchamam. He says that wherever there is raja or gold, you go there. Okay, because wherever there is gold, there is also irreligion, falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. Okay. So wherever there is excess accumulation of wealth, you can go. So thus, by the orders of Kali, by the orders of Parikshit Maharaj, Kali was allowed to live in 5 places: intoxication, meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, and accumulation of wealth, gold. So devotee stays away from these 5 principles. So text 41. Pathetaani na seveta ubushu purusha kvachit. Therefore, whoever desires their well-being, they stay away from these. Who are these people? Visheshato, specially Dharmashilo Raja Lokapatir Guru. King, religionist, leaders, Brahman, and sannyasis. We should stay away from these four principles. See, therefore, I like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada he has taken the essence of Vedic scriptures, he has distilled it and given us the essence in very simple sentences. He says, chant and be happy. All the scriptures, they say that in Kali, we chant the names of Radha Krishna and we are happy. He says, follow four regulative principles. And everything is taken care of. These two sentences of Prabhupada, if we absorb in our lives, our life is successful. If you can't read the scriptures, no problem. You can't fast, go to holy places, you are bound with family life, you may be, in a diseased condition, your finances may be poor. My dear devotees, just follow these two sentences. Follow four regulative principles, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Nothing else is needed. That is the summum bonum of everything. And this chapter emphasizes the four principles. So then Sut Goswami says that most fortunate emperor Parikshit is now ruling this kingdom. And because of his efforts in text 45, Ittham bhutanubhavoyam abhimanyu suton nripa yasya palayata shonim yuyam satraya dikshita. And therefore he's saying, Sut Goswami is saying, O sages of Naimisharanya, we are able to do all these sacrifices for a long period of time because we are being protected by such emperors. When the king is strong, then religion flourishes. I will give you a very crude analogy. It is not very accurate, but still it applies. For so many years, India was ruled by irreligious kings. And now recently, we've got a prime minister who is at least supporting Vedic activity. And suddenly in the last 10 years, you will see that a lot of religious leaders are coming forward. They have become bold and they are preaching widely, not just within Iskcon, but outside Iskcon also. Premanand Maharaj, Gyananand Maharaj, Bhageshwar Dham Maharaj. So many people, they are now fearlessly preaching and Sanatan Dharma is spreading. All we need is slight protection by the king. We don't want funds from the king. We don't want, facilities from the king. All we want is that when we speak scriptures, we are not prosecuted. When we follow our religion, we are not prosecuted. That's all we need. That's the tradition of our Sanatani kings. When the Persians, they were persecuted and they came to India and they came in the land of Gujarat. So they asked the king, the king said, what do you want? How can we help you? So they said, all we need is a place where we can do our worship and take care of ourselves. That's all we want, protect us. So these Parsi people, they were given protection. You can have your temple of fire, you do your thing. And they contributed so much to the freedom fight in legal profession, financially. They have reciprocated so well. So that is the duty of a king. Protect religious principles, punish irreligious principles like Kali, and then religion will flourish. That is the essence of this chapter. To summarize, don't just think it is the duty of the king. You are a leader in your own right. As a father, as a mother, as a husband, as an employee, employer, as a businessman, as a leader, as a prominent member in your community, whatever. Your kids will see you as leaders. You may have, positions in government or whatever, wherever you are. All of us are leaders. So make sure that those who are helpless, who are weak, who are dependent on you, you protect them. And establish the principles of religion in your life. By no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. If Krishna has given you wealth, use it in his service. Okay. No harm in being rich as long as Krishna is giving you and you are conduit, give it to others. If we accumulate, then all these irreligious principles will affect us. So live your life like that. Chant Hare Krishna, go back to God. Simple. What's the problem? As Prabhupada says, what is the difficulty? The process is simple. Don't make it complicated. So I will end the class here. A very beautiful chapter. Again, very grateful to all of you, especially Narayan Keshav Prabhu, that I got a chance to read this chapter, prepare for this, and then speak to you. So I can hammer my mind again with these principles. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful class as always, and giving us the essence of chapter 17 so nicely, and not only spiritual benefits, but you highlighted the practical benefits of Krishna consciousness as well. So thank you so much for your insight on that. Please have your questions ready. I have some, so I will start while you're preparing. So I think that's a very good point you made, because on those days gold was the currency. So we're not talking about gold as the metal gold. We're talking about wealth. Too much accumulation of wealth brings on sense gratification. You need to use it somewhere. People will go out to casinos. They will gamble, and they think they have liquid money. They can buy any person, any female. These propensity comes in because you have wealth power, and that's the danger, because that wealth is giving you ideas to do sinful activities. Is that what we're saying, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One should be very careful when one is given wealth or positions of power. Should be careful, because the risk is otherwise we will engage in some sinful action and we will go to hell. Prabhupada says that a head which has a heavy crown on it drowns faster. So if you have been given a position or wealth or power, then be very careful. Otherwise, you will drown faster than others. And
Absolutely.
therefore, a lot of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, they lived very simply. The six Goswamis, Sridhar Kolavich, they were happy chanting the names of the Lord. At the same time, we have King Pratap Rudra, who was a king, but utilized everything in serving Lord Jagannath.
Absolutely.
So the consciousness should be such that we are renounced. Okay.
Thank you. The other question was this this concept of Kali taking the three legs of Dharma, and the fourth one is slowly weakened as well. Now, I mean, which way is it? Because sometimes it's mentioned that the first leg, which is austerity, is lost in the Satyug, end of Satyug, and then cleanliness is lost in Treta Yug, and mercy is lost by the end of Dwapar Yug. So is it like that, or are we saying that everything is lost in Kali Yuga, and the other yugas, the Dharma was established, yet in Kali Yuga is completely lost, or at least three-quarter is lost?
So,
Which way around would it be?
so according to this chapter, in Kali Yuga, practically everything is gone. Okay. And you may see some traces of mercy, cleanliness, austerity, truthfulness, but they are nothing. For example, cleanliness, we think that we take a bath and we are clean. But if you actually read Vedic scriptures, a bath has to be taken in a particular way. You sit down, water has to be of a well or a river. and then you have to chant mantras. Without chanting mantras, the bath is not complete. And then if you don't wear tilak, kanthi, make marks on your body, and then wear fresh clothes, and then you have to engage in some form of puja, and then give donation, then you are considered clean. Now, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj was saying if we start doing that, it will take 2 hours to complete our bath. So who can do that? So it's not possible, and therefore, yes, we try to do as much as possible, but in Kali, Harer Nam, Eva Kevalam. That should be the focus.
Thank you. Thank you, very. Just finally, this verse 23, I couldn't make heads and tails of it when we were studying it. Please, if you can just see, we can make some sense of that verse 23. The purport when it begins, because it was saying one thing, then it's saying another thing. Should we declare who is the culprit, or should we try to hide it? What should we do?
No, so see, strictly speaking, we should not point out. Okay. At the same time, it is the duty of the king to impart justice. Just because the bull did not point out who the culprit was, King Pariksha did not say, okay, carry on beating the bull. I'm leaving. And he said, no, I will punish the culprit. So, as a leader, you will be asked to judge certain situations. And you have to be especially careful if the person in front of you is very religious, very humble, very meek. He may say, no, no, Prabhuji, this devotee did not offend me. So if you are the temple president, you have to say, no, he has offended you and I will take an action on that. Otherwise, he will offend others as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it depends on your situation, how advanced you are. Are you advanced at the level of, Dharmaraj to say, okay, you slapped me, fine. I'm not going to complain. The general principle which I have been told in this matter by uh, my spiritual master and others is that when it comes to you, you can tolerate. When it comes to Lord and his devotees, you should not tolerate. So someone slaps you, you can tolerate. But if someone is slapping a devotee and the police ask, what was going on, you have to, protect that devotee. Like that. That is the general guiding principle I follow as well.
Yeah, makes sense, Prabhu. Thank you so much. That's
Thank you.
wonderful. Um, any other questions? Anyone would like to ask question to Prabhuji? This is time to clear your doubts.
Hare Krishna, can I make a statement, or if that's
Yes,
possible?
yes,
Yeah.
Kiran.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just a comment on the renaissance of our fabulous, fantastic Vedic faith, and the last 11 years because of a Raja Rishi that has taken over the kingdom of Bharat, and all the gurus which are now making that Shastra available in a form which is accessible to everybody. It's so wonderful and so enriching and so enthusiastic that there is that, returning back home to the essence of the scriptures. And I just want to ask you a question. I'm a clinician, ex-clinician in CAMS, and a social worker in child protection. I have had raised the matter of the exploitation of young people, children, grooming by individuals and a particular group in society with the institution. And in spite of giving volumes of evidence, the state buried its head in the sand.
Yes. Yes.
And then, little short of becoming a whistleblower, I feel I have done as much as possible as opposed to becoming a jihadist or a martyr. I think having raised the issue as far as possible with as much as I've been able to do in the area that we live in. But then it becomes a responsibility of those who are the Sudra kings or the Sudra managers or the Sudra chief executives to do something about it. And I find very little is done because there is a what do you call it? There is that
You're right.
collective togetherness in being oppressive in the ongoing thing. And equally, as a clinician, I used to raise the matter of flaws in clinical practice, but the consistency of poor practice carried on, and it carried on today. And so I'm thinking, am I responsible, or have I added to my karma, or because I've raised it and raised it time and time again, I am absolved of some of that responsibility? And the final thing is, we got a Ravan who is in control of the free nation. And the Indians who live there, do they have a collective karma for what's happening? Or is it one of these things? Sorry.
So by raising your concerns, you have done your karma. Krishna says, karmanyavadhikaraste, you have to do your karma. Ma phaleshu kadacham. But you are not responsible for the fruits of that. I can raise a complaint. Whether authorities act on it or not is up to them. As long as I have done my duty diligently, I can sleep peacefully. And this is what Krishna is saying. So by raising complaints, you've done the good thing. You've done the right thing. You're not carrying forward any karma from that. In terms of a country where the king is irreligious, devotees should, make their voice heard. But as it often happens, they don't listen to that. What our duty is to protect ourselves, to protect fellow devotees, to protect the Sanatana Dharma. And one should use our intelligence in determining how that is possible. So in the times of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Chand Kazi was going around harassing devotees, and when they finally brought it to the attention of Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu took everyone, like a non-cooperation movement, Prabhupada writes, and he confronted the Kazi. And then, everything was restored. So sometimes we need to take steps like that. At other times, when Aurangzeb was attacking Vrindavan and destroying all the temples, the priests and Brijvasis could not oppose him directly. They were not Kshatriyas. So they took the deities to Rajasthan and thereby protected it. So whatever is possible in a given circumstance, we need to do it. Okay. That is our karma. And then the karma fall is in Krishna's hands. All those Mughal kings are gone now. And those deities are still being worshipped with even greater pomp and valor. So that is, evidence to what happens when we follow Vardha. Yeah. Does that make sense? So yes, you raise complaints and, don't keep quiet. Do whatever it takes to make your point and then leave the results to Krishna. Be intelligent. Krishna says in second chapter, Buddhi Yoga. use your intelligence.
Thank you. That's absolutely clear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Krishna.
I think Jay wanted to ask something.
Yeah, so Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thanks for the class. So my question is, so after during the middle verses, was spoken about how the religion personified as the bull refused to blame anyone directly as such. It gave different philosophical examples from different philosophers, and then it was explained how ultimately everything is a sanction of Lord, and we are responsible for our own karma. Would this could it be case of these references to different philosophers is also a criticism of I'll say like indirect criticism by the bull of those that refuse to accept the supremacy of the Lord, that they look for different reasons to to actually explain what's happening or to attribute blame for their own suffering.
So Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, karmana gahanoti, the how karma acts is very complicated. It's difficult to ascertain. And one cannot truly establish in the whole cycle, where this particular action is originating from. So if someone, slaps me, if I was to actually zoom back and look at different lifetimes, it may be that, I've hurt someone and now that person is retaliating, or it may be a cycle. It is very complicated. And therefore, someone who has deep realization on this matter, they usually keep quiet. They say that, okay, Krishna, this is the way you want me to live, then that's fine. I will endure the circumstances. That is the understanding of great devotees. So Surdas, for example, he says that अपनी इनकी करी करी सो आछी अपने सिर पे सही है, इनको दोष न देव सके. That however Krishna keeps, I am happy. अपनो दोष विचार करिए. That in any circumstance, I will first consider my own fault. This is the attitude of great devotees. And yes, different philosophers, they try to understand this differently. But as a devotee, as I said, when Radhanath Maharaj was speaking about this, I could resonate with this, that when it comes to me, I will tolerate. When it comes to the Lord, my spiritual master, the devotees, then I will protest. That is a practical way I see it. In terms of the actual philosophy, actually, all those reasons are established by Shastra. None of them are, are not evidence-based. So, for example, in text 19, one's own self is responsible. Again, that is a valid comment. Superhuman powers are responsible. So yes, demigods are also managing this. That our own karma is responsible, and that the Prakriti is the ultimate cause. All of these, Krishna says in 18th chapter that there are 5 factors responsible for what we achieve. Dharma is saying exactly those same things. So, in essence, Ajay Gauraraya Prabhu, that these points do not claim to be denying God. They are all parts of Vedic reasoning, why certain things happen. But practically, many people, when a child is born with autism, I've sometimes heard devotees tell the parents that, oh, that is the child's karma. or that is your karma coming upon the child. And the parents are very hurt. I think that is not the right thing to say at that moment. Yes, karma is responsible for particular outcomes, but karma, that explanation is not a solution. It's not a solace either. Someone gets hit and I say, your karma, you got hit. That's not compassion, that's not expected of a devotee. We are not even humans if we say that. What we have to do is console that person, help out that person. Okay.
So
Makes
these
sense?
philosophies, yeah, I was going to say this. So these philosophies can be considered as like smaller details of the greater whole that,
So yeah, these are all Vedic philosophy. Otherwise, Dharma would not quote these
Sure.
philosophers. He would not quote irreligious philosophies.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any final statements or questions there before we finish the program? Okay, I think we all trying to process. I think Pundrakash Prabhu is probably ready to ask something. Prabhu, do you
Hare
want to
Krishna
ask something?
Prabhuji, thank you so much for a wonderful session.
Prabhu, could you
And
bit louder?
yeah, can you hear me now, Prabhuji?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I don't have any like bigger questions as such. Very small question. I was just thinking like why it's not related to this exact purports or this pastime, Prabhuji, but small thing like why demons were not there during Mahabharata time. I mean, in Krishna killed so many demons in the childhood, but when it comes to Mahabharata, exact Mahabharata time, we see only hardly like what is it? Katoj is one Rakshas, but there are not much demons during this period. That is one thing. And second is how different is this Kali Yuga prior to Kali Yuga, Prabhuji? Because during Mahabharata, during the Kauravas time, in the childhood also, they were doing so many wrong things towards Pandavas. So I don't see much difference before entering of Kali and after entering of Kali. Like Prabhupada, in the purports, what Prabhupada mentioned in 76, we can see them even today. And Prabhupada saw them in 76 and 70s also.
Correct.
So how this Kali is affecting really, Prabhuji? Because we're already
Very good
before
point.
it.
Yes. So the first question about demons in Mahabharata. Krishna had killed a lot of demons previously.
Okay.
And what was happening is gradually, as time progressed, uh, even ordinary people were acquiring demonic qualities.
Hmm.
So demons do not mean, big-bodied and people with mystical powers. Uh, Demons refer to a particular mentality.
Hmm.
And nowadays, we may not have big bodies, but our mentality is the same. If I can destroy 1,000 children in some country to get a small amount of wealth, I think that's a reasonable excuse to do that,
True,
okay,
true.
to start a war. This is all demonic mentality. So we may not see demons huge in size, but I think the consequences are still happening. And the other thing, you're right. What to speak of during Dwapar Yuga, even in Satya Yuga, in the beginning of creation, this Madhukatab demon were there, and then we hear about Hiranyaksh, Hiranyakashipu, and during Ram Avatar, there were so many demons, so many nonsense was going on there. So it is not that Satyug was an age of ultimate spiritual bliss. Krishna says that Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. This world is a place of misery, and miseries existed since the beginning of creation. That is, part and parcel of this world. You can never say that the sea was uh, there was a time when the sea was dry. The sea was always wet. So this world has always seen a lot of miseries, a lot of irreligious activities. What has happened in Kali Yuga is these miseries and irreligious activities have become more pervasive. You can hardly point to someone and say that, this person is sinless. You can, I don't think you can point to any person and say that this person is happy. Whereas in previous ages, there were a greater proportion of these people.
Okay.
Like, Janak Maharaj, he is described as a karma yogi. Krishna also gives his example. Now, he was a perfected human being. The Manus, the Raja Rishis in the past, they were all perfected beings. Now, even sadhus are disturbed. Sadhus are also full of anger, lust, greed, pride. So it's become more pervasive. And that is the influence of Kali. That Kali has managed to destroy religious principles universally in all places, in all times. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Do not think that Satyug was, a very blissful condition.
Sure.
There were many people who were blissful, but there was still unhappiness. Otherwise, why will someone get out of this material world if it was a happy? It's designed to be unhappy.
Nice, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Absolutely. The three miseries were always there in every yoga, and that's the nature of the material world, right? We can't escape that. The three
No.
prongs are always, biting us. So we need to get out. So thank you so much, Prabhu. This is wonderful. Thank you for your time and energy. Obviously, you're spending time to give class, and you spend time in preparing the class. So so much goes into in putting this together, and really appreciate it. And I'm sure everybody listening is very appreciative of you joining us today. And we look forward to many, many more class from you. Could you all unmute and give Prabhuji 3 Hari Bols, please? Hari Bol!
Hari Bol, Hari
Haribol,
Bol,
Haribol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. And we look forward to seeing you soon. If not sooner, then see you at 24-hour Kirtan, which is coming in a few weeks.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
everyone.
Prabhuji.
Ram Chakravarti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Vaishnavi. Hare Krishna. Hare
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.